This was one of the few opportunities that the U.S. had against Norway today. A shot from distance from Sam Mewis goes wide of the target, scoreless at the half. Welcome back, everyone, to our coverage here on Fox with Ali Wagner. I'm JP Delacamera. USA versus Norway, scoreless after 45 minutes of play. Let's take a look at the highlights from the first 45 minutes.
I mean, the U.S. didn't have a lot of things going forward. This is one of the moments where something split open with Dunn sitting in that seam. Strikes across that, doesn't get that one on frame, but a lot of their opportunities were coming from outside the box because you could see Norway getting back defensively. And then Norway was getting around the edge time and time again. They earned this corner kick, and that one almost sneaks in near post. It catches Nair. You can see she just reads it late. She thinks her player's going to head that out. They don't. Lucky to get that deflection out of goal.
The scene shifts to Azteca when we come back. Rob and the guys have a preview of tonight's big match, USA-Mexico.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
Critics are calling Fargo utterly masterful, remarkable.
No trip.
Excellent. A wonder to behold.
Simpatico to the point of spooky.
A top-notch cast. Carrie Coon is a treasure. McGregor is a force to be reckoned with.
Happy to help, really, but where does it end?
Might be the most Fargo has ever been.
Hold up. Forgot my gun.
Fargo. All new Wednesday at 10 on FX.
Scoreless at the half, the USA with 2 total shots, and neither one of those were on target. Norway had the edge in possession, and Ali, Norway's attack, over 53% of their attack started on that left side of the field.
Yeah, and a lot of it was coming off of these transition moments when Kayla O'Hara's rotated up top. You can see those 3 players are launching it time and time again. Hansen, Hovey, and Hegerberg, excuse me. And they're having success getting around this left side. Here it is again. On the counterattack moment, Kelly O'Hara's up the pitch somewhere, and here comes Norway down the left side. Nice little inside-out run by Hegerberg, and they almost pull it off near post there. Lack of connection, but that's where Norway was having success, just in those transition moments and breaking down this left side.
Well, things have to change for the U.S. The 2 shots, not good enough, certainly, and both of them off target. Norway were the better side in the first 45 minutes of play. We'll see if either side makes any changes as we get ready to start the second half. We did see Lindsay Horan, so I believe she has come in, but let's wait to get that confirmed. Second half officially underway on that whistle. Off short. Done. Pressure on the ball. Horan is into the game, and we'll see where she plays. The other night she came in for Carly Lloyd, played at a position that she used to play in. We've seen her more in that holding midfielder role in previous games.
And I think she's coming into the same exact spot for Rose Lavelle up top as that number 10 player, bringing that heading presence partnered with the pace of press. And you'd have to think part of that's got to be that Lavelle tracked a lot of ground in that game against Sweden. Both her and Pugh did. She's got to have tired legs, and I don't think she was making the impact in the first half that we expected out of her.
Ball pushed wide to the right side. Lavelle is after it. Long and Mewis is still out there, so is it Klingenberg?
Ah, you're right, JP.
Still waiting to get official confirmation. We didn't see the sub as it was made. Short on it. Well, if that's the case, we'll follow and see where Horan is playing, because that's not a position that you would think she would play. But Jill Ellis looking for some versatility to see who can play where and how well.
I think that means Lavelle pushes wide. We'll see how it plays out, but she'll push back out to that wide position. But again, it's fluidity in the attack and these players filling spaces as opposed to sticking to a flat-out roll.
Done with it. Out wide, press in the box. It's played across, headed up the middle. Normally a dangerous spot. Norway dealt with it, but it's given right back to Dunn. Crystal Dunn, end line. And that's blocked. Mewis tags it, and again off target. U.S. starting this half pretty much the way the first half ended. Smith will move it to the left. So Klingenberg was the confirmed sub. Only one change. Norway didn't make any. Right side, O'Hara. It's cut off. She'll recover. Lavelle off that cultured left foot, but it goes wide. Even she's off target today.
And I think even as you see O'Hara streaking down the right flank, I mean, that's a good thing. But then the final pass, I mean, she just buries her head and she's whipping that ball in regardless of what's going on around her. I think if she spins out and tries to connect, it's going to be on more. The U.S. didn't have great box organization, and Norway had 3 players right in front of her there. So just better decision making in the final third and getting more players around the ball so they can combine to break this Norwegian team down.
Press on it. Right side. She's had all kinds of room today. Kelly O'Hara on that right side. Back for long. So Jill Ellis only made that one change. She's trying to let these players sort it out for probably at least another 15 minutes or so. Short after it. That's blocked. Gathered in. Andrina Hegerberg will push it back.
I mean, I expected more substitutions for sure at half. With not a lot at stake here, I think you didn't have a great start, but you're probably right. Allow them to figure it out, but ultimately get some fresh legs in there. See, you know, how Rapinoe handles this game. She's been out with the U.S. for a while, and you got to see you get some minutes.
Will we see maybe a Sydney Leroux? She hasn't had an opportunity for the U.S. really since the year they won the World Cup.
She's really just finding her form, coming into form for Kansas City.
Lavelle, it's a quick turn, trying to find Press. Dunn pouncing on it. Maybe something here for Crystal Dunn. To the end line, the chip there. Coming back and put over the bar. Lavelle that time on the right foot.
Just too hasty with that go on frame. But the U.S. has looked brighter in this start. They've actually gotten around their left side. This one pops out nicely for Lavelle, but she can't get over it. You gotta be more patient, let that drop for you.
What do you like about Lavelle's game, and where can she still grow?
You know, I've liked her when she's running at that back line, when she solves pressure, but this game she's looked a little too casual. I think she's got to get her body shaped up better when she receives the ball, because she has turned the ball over a fair amount today. Get shaped up, use a little more strength. That's something she can build on. But ultimately, she's very good at solving pressure. And I know Jill Ellis says she's a great final passer. I do think she has that quality, but I think it can be better. I think both her and Pugh, when they get running at that back line at times, they don't change angles enough to open up those passing channels for that final ball. And that little nuance, I think, can break things open for her.
Spurred into the middle. That one's blocked. It falls. Andrina Hegerberg couldn't get to it. Her sister can. That's Anna's pass. It's blocked by Short. Intercepted. Bad place to lose the ball. Andrina Hegerberg will turn it around for Hansen versus Short. Hansen played it in front. At least 3 Norwegian players had a chance at that ball, and Hansen is the one that's hurt. Full name Carolina Graham Hansen. It's Graham on the jersey, but she goes by Hansen.
And that was all started with a poor turnover by Casey Short, and that's one of the dangers that we've seen out of Short. It's just that ability to possess out of the back, but she forces this here. You can see she gets Hansen's ankle on that one as that slides far post.
That was a wide open net for 3 Norwegian players. Had any of the 3 gotten to the ball?
Well, it's a shot cross by Hansen, and you can't blame her for taking that approach. But ultimately, Hansen is someone they can't afford to lose.
Yeah, Martin Sjogren concerned, not because of this game, but because of Euro 2017. You'd like to get out of these 2 games with a little momentum, some positive play, and no injuries. And that's a key player. He mentioned her to us on our conference call with him earlier in the week. Loves the way she combines with Anna Hegerberg. Considers Hansen to be one of the keys to his team.
And I think we've seen that in some of her ability just to solve pressure and dictate tempo.
U.S. will launch that one in, but it's too close to goal. Smith gets to it. 53rd minute, zeros on the board. USA versus Norway. But the big one coming up tonight on FS1, USA versus Mexico. From the famous Azteca. That's Lavelle. We'll be sending you back to Azteca when we are done. There's some more thoughts with Rob and the guys. Hansen is okay, apparently. 53rd minute. Norway's out of Hegerberg, trying to push it back, lost it there.
That's a better look from the U.S. winning that ball back defensively. A lot of numbers around defensively, condensing Norway into one side and winning possession ultimately.
Mara took that ball down well. It looked like she may have lost it in the sun initially. Hansen wants to get back in the field with the referee's permission. Quick shot is wide of goal. By my count, Allie, it's 6 or 7 USA shots, and not one of them has hit the target.
Well,
that's unusual for them.
It is, but it also comes down to quality opportunities, right? I mean, that's even Press just making something out of nothing, trying to face herself up. Not a clean opportunity for her. They're just not getting in on those sitters, as we call them, that they so often create. And I think it comes down to a lot of this tempo by the U.S. Who's dictating play? Who's going to beat that midfield line, take the onus to change it up a bit? Right now, it's very methodical and one-paced.
Too predictable?
Too predictable, absolutely. I just want to see someone take the onus to beat someone, beat a line.
Nielda pushing it into the middle. Driven by Berga. Too close to Nair. USA was looking to solve their goalkeeper situation this year, and it looked like Nair and Harris were going to battle for that job. Unfortunately for Ashlyn Harris, bad time to pick up that quad injury.
Yeah, and I do think that it was leaning in Nair's favor before that injury, but now Abby Smith has been very good in the lead. She's the one that's here backing up Nair, and someone that, you know, Jill Ellis has always said it's not just a two-person race come 2019 World Cup, and so this gives an opportunity to someone else to step in, and Jane Campbell's with the 23s.
Nair's been good, though. You saw that graphic, 4 goals allowed in the 14 games, plus this one, and 3 of them came in that one disastrous game against France. She paid the price, but the whole team collectively didn't get the job done defensively. Here's Ada Hegerberg, trying to create something on her own, which she's more than capable of doing, but that time, too much pressure against her, and Lavelle comes back. Horan playing it back to Mewis. Long. Allie Long, another one of the versatile players for this team, has played in the back and also in the midfield. O'Hara. Oh, Lavelle was calling for it nicely. Trying to find Press. Lavelle picks it up. Lavelle looking. That's the foot she wanted, but it's blocked. 56th minute. Here's Norway. A lot of room now on this near side. Pushed ahead of Hansen versus Short. Hansen out wide. Now the cross. It was way too far away from Ada Hegerberg.
She wanted no part of Casey Short as she flew down that right flank this time. But good last attack by the U.S. Initially, I thought it was a bit too slow. Allie Long on the ball. She took too many touches before she pinged it wide, but then that ball played into Lavelle was quick, and Lavelle was in a nice little pocket inside the box.
Again, on that last camera shot, you can see Mallory Pugh in the background. So let's hope that the injury to the ankle was not serious. She was able to sit and watch this game, but she was supposed to start. To repeat that storyline for those who joined us late, was supposed to start injured in the warm-up, replaced in the starting 11 by Megan Klingenberg.
I think it's fair to say the U.S. is lacking her dynamic movement.
They've missed her. Vold on it. Short should have this. She does, but it's last touch by a Norway player out for a goal kick. Pugh gives them another player that can get behind the defense that could also do what you said, take players on. But I think Pugh on her own is good. Lavelle on her own is good, but I think they make each other better.
I think you're exactly right. And they are going to develop some nice chemistry if they can get closer together on the field. And there's just a look at that little last run in.
The big one coming up tonight, Mexico versus the USA. Plenty of hype, well-deserved for that game. 7:30 Eastern on FS1, USA-Mexico. Headed up, and that's going to go wide. You know, when you talk USA-Mexico, that's almost all you have to say in this country, right? When you're talking about soccer?
Yeah, when you're talking about soccer.
People get it. People get it. Clint Dempsey, as we start, 2 goals away from breaking Landon Donovan's goal-scoring record.
Yeah, but all eyes on Pulisic. It's a record that, if he stays healthy, I think will be his at some point.
Lavelle's corner. The U.S. still about a shot on target, surprisingly, at this stage of the game. Lavelle seemed to have some quality to it. Stays in the field of play. It was Horan who had that opportunity, and that ball was out over the end line. Or was Dahlkemper that was going forward?
And if I'm Jill Ellis, I take a look at the NWSL and watch how good Dahlkemper is at serving those set pieces. I think across the league, she has been the best and most consistent player, and I'd have her taking those set pieces.
Holy is coming out of the game for a sub for Norway. And Norway's made that change. And someone has changed the number. It's going to be Minda that's out there. She was not listed on the subs bench at the start of the game. Interesting lineup happenings today. 60th minute. The U.S. on the ball. Short will push it back. Dahlkemper. She and Sauerbrunn have anchored things in their center back positions. It'll fall to Press. And there's the first goal on the USA's first shot. Kristen Press with her 42nd international goal. The U.S. leads. Just like that.
I mean, it happened against Sweden. It was 2 passes, and the U.S. was in, found the back of the net. Happens again today. This time it's Becky Sauerbrunn out of the back. Lavelle tries to help that one on. It doesn't need any help. And Press in the nice little seam in behind the 2 center backs. Trying to hit that far post, but still just gets it across against the momentum of Yelmsev. On the ground, so difficult to save. I like the way this one skips in, and Press sitting off the shoulder of the center back. I mean, not a clinical finish, but Press can do that. She's been finding her form for Chicago and not skipping a beat here today.
3 goals in 8 games played in the NWSL for Press. He's one of 5 players for the USA to score double-digit goals in 3 straight years.
And the challenge for Kristen Press, I mean, so many people want to say, why is she not always starting? You know, you see moments like that. And the challenges for her is doing it against the top teams in the world. That's where she sometimes disappears.
So let's see what this goal does for both teams right now. It was Norway's game, fair to say, for almost 1 hour today. And now that goal changes everything.
And it still leaves a lot of question marks out there for the U.S. Is inability to break down an organized defense. That's one direct ball. We know that the U.S. has always been good at that. You don't want to lose that quality, absolutely.
Pressure now, the ball, and Norway wins it. Here they come. 4 in the attack. Spread out wide. Hansen makes a run inside. Tackled away for a corner. Minda was trying to get on the end of that. What would have been her first touch since coming in as a sub.
And it's the left side again for Norway, finding some space. Great close by Dahlkemper there. Heavy touch a bit, but Dahlkemper right there on the mark. Snuffs out any trouble.
Before that ball was played to Minda, Hansen was pointing at the player on the ball to pass it to her. So even though she didn't even have the ball, she was directing the traffic.
And she didn't want it running centrally down that channel. She wanted it to go outside to come back in so she could be the one to finish it ultimately.
So Norway had 4 corners in the first half. Not effective on those corners. Neither was Sweden, for that matter, the other day, and they had more in that game against the U.S.
Well, all have gone near post, and they almost caught Nair sleeping on one, but I think far post could spell trouble.
Let's see what Hegerberg does, 14, where her run might be on the service from Hansen. Words from the match referee first, Fern, before this kick is taken. Dahlkemper was the player down before. Let's see if that's her or someone else. She just took a knee. So it was from that last tackle. You could see that she wasn't the same, but I'm not sure what the particular injury was. U.S. soccer officials taking a look at it now. 64th minute. It's really the only time of the game where you can get coaching. Will Julia Ertz play? We just saw her getting some information on the sideline.
Well, you would think she'd be the logical one to step in for Dahlkemper. Although she's been playing in the center midfield for Chicago this season.
Here's where the injury occurred. But she got hit in the face too, I think. So I'm not sure if it was low to the feet or the face.
Yeah, because it looked like she lost her footing before the challenge was made.
How has she done so far today, would you say?
I think she's been excellent. I mean, you think about Norway's attack, it's been stemming from on the flanks. I mean, they've been very solid centrally and haven't conceded that.
USA playing a player down. We'll see about Dahlkemper. Off this corner to the middle. Hegerberg was there. Another close call. The ball looked out, and it was on the end line.
And I think that's a better set piece from Norway. You have so many targets, in particular Ada Hegerberg rising up for that one. Just a little bit of a knock, it looks like, by Ali Long to throw the timing off. And they both miss it, in fact, as that one skips on by.
And Dahlkemper is back on the field. When she's playing as well as she has and just getting this opportunity, you know she doesn't want to come out of the game.
Oh, absolutely not. And I think it gives Jill Ellis the freedom to keep Casey Short on that left side if she can find another center back partner for Becky besides Johnston as an option.
USA credited with 10 shots, only 1 on goal. That was the goal by Kristen Press. Norway with the edge in the corners as well. First time that we've seen that possession stat in the USA's favor this game. On this left side, Hansen, as Norway looks for an equalizer. It's going to be knocked out. We can change the corners now. Add another one to Norway.
And we'll see if they sense success off of going at least central or far and not to that near post slot.
Hansen's corner. Last one was their most effective, even though it did not result in a goal. Throw in here for Norway. Martin Sjogren, their head coach, said that you always go for a result, but that was really secondary in this game. But I would think he'd be pleased with the way they performed today so far.
I think so. I think they've shown they can compete with this U.S. team. What I found fascinating when we spoke to him was that he said this U.S. team is, if not one of the top 3 teams in the world. And that's the first time I've heard a coach say that about a U.S. side.
They always say
the top team,
right?
Yeah, always.
FIFA rankings now say differently, whatever stock you put in those. On either the women's or the men's side. Long. Pushing it aside. Right sideline. O'Hara. She's been active all game long. Continues there to run deep. Minda. And it's knocked out. Norway has the ball.
And she's got to get a corner kick there, or she's got to spin out quicker. But you're watching the U.S. and not a lot of players are moving to get in a support position to be an option at a different angle. This is where I think the U.S. is just falling short. It's kind of that impetus to help each other get in good support angles or take on at pace. Since the moment, Kelly O'Hara, I think, drives end line there and earns her team a corner kick.
You also win it there. Cut back. Press has the game's only goal. We'll push it back towards O'Hara, who plays for Sky Blue in the NWSL, a New Jersey-based team. Horan keeping it on the deck towards Lavelle. He's going to go out for a USA corner.
And that's better. I mean, you saw how many numbers Norway was flooding to the ball, and they were able to solve it with one penetrating pass into Lavelle into the box.
The 22-year-old midfielder will take this corner. Near post, it bounces. This could be tricky. Comes all the way out, though. The U.S. trying to recover this. It's short. Dunn versus Torshnos. Dunn got away. Crystal Dunn too early on that ball. Had other options, too.
And she had time. I mean, continue driving on that end line. Change your angles. I mean, you make that defense shift with every touch you dribble along that end line.
She's one of those players you were talking about before that can break a game down 1v1.
Oh, and she just did. I mean, in the first half, it was her and Torshnos against each other, and I think Torshnos won that battle. This one, it was all done.
Lavelle at the end line. Another sweet move, and then lost it, but did she earn a corner? No. It's a goal kick. Andrina Hegerberg was back there defending.
That's the confidence, though, that you want to see out of Lavelle. Yes, you have the liberty when you're attacking third, but I want to see that out of her in the middle, taking players on and changing a game in those moments. And I believe it looked like she megged her on that one.
Lauren Shervin's team down by a goal, 70th minute. So much great history from Norway on the women's side. Famous names of the past: Mariana Pettersen, Bette Nordby, Hege Riise. And now players like Ada Hegerberg trying to make names for themselves as well, and she'll be one of them. She'll be one of the all-time greats if her career continues to grow like it has in these past 5 years. Hansen to Hegerberg, leaving it off. Vold couldn't get through. Long disrupted her, but Norway gets it back with Hansen. Nice, quickly on the give and go. Hansen, the cross. And skimmed off the top with a crossbar. Looked like Nair had that one covered. First, it looked like that ball was going to go out of play initially.
But Hansen on this right side is having a little bit of success in the second half. And I don't know if Nair knows exactly where that one's going to end up. I think she's fortunate it bounces off the top of the crossbar there, because she looks like she isn't certain.
71st minute. USA leading Norway 1-0 on a goal by Kristen Press in the 60th minute. Don't forget the Confederations Cup begins Saturday on Fox Sports. And then the Gold Cup July 7th on Fox Sports. Mexico again and the USA involved in that competition. Mexico has Confederations Cup and Gold Cup. An extremely busy summer for them. And for Fox, for that matter.
But it's a good summer for soccer fans, that's for sure.
Excellent. Mewis. O'Hara. She let that go for a corner. Newell was last touched by Torshnos. '72nd minute. The USA up by a goal, and Martin Sjogren will make another change soon. Long, Dahlkemper, Horan among the targets going forward.
Pick your poison.
Lavelle on that in-swinger. Second ball. Third one, and Press tagged it but mishit it. Goal kick, Norway.
And I go back to have Dahlkemper whip those balls in, because those last two services from Lavelle have been way too lofted. You've got the targets in the air in Long and Mewis. I say you have Dahlkemper step over there, because she drives that ball in, and all it needs is a little deflection.
Hjelmseth in her 112th international appearance. Got that one forward. Hansen blocked. Norway will get it back with Isaksen. Spurred out wide. Looking to get numbers forward in the 73rd minute. Their first half was certainly better than the second half so far. Dunn from long. Press. Trapped by O'Hara. Sauerbrunn. Dahlkemper. The US just keeping the ball, making Norway do the chasing. That's Anna Hegerberg, 14 in the red.
And really trying to goad them into stepping out of their defensive blockade.
Hegerberg hasn't had much service today, so she's not been the factor that she can be so far.
And I think you have to credit that blockade of the 2 6s in Long and Mewis and the 2 center backs for that reason. She's really only seen the ball after the ball's gone wide and been played into her centrally.
That's one area of the field that Jill Ellis spoke to us about yesterday, that she was trying to condense, because she knows they like to go down the middle. So it's Mewis and Long, and then the 2 center backs. They've kept that space. Maybe that's why so much of it was open on the flank too.
I think so, but this U.S. team, historically this year at least, have been conceding spaces when those outside backs rotate forward. So any coach scouting them knows those pockets are on, and that's where you want to get into.
Here's the change. Udland is going to be coming into the game. Let's see who's coming out. Spurred. So that's the second change made by Norway. Lisa Marie Udland plays in Norway. And now another change as well. 8 off, 3 in. Maria Torresdotter will replace Andrina Hegerberg. But the most dangerous Hegerberg is still out in the field. Done with it. So a double switch from Norway, and the game rolls on. US up by 1. Looking to close it out. This was the scoreline on Thursday against Sweden. Well, Sweden almost got one towards the end of that game.
They had plenty of chances as well, like Norway has today.
Torsnäs on the throw-in. The US will collect it back. Sauerbrunn's pass to O'Hara. Press leads it. Lavelle kept it in play nicely. Lavelle looks up, trying to find Press. Difficult ball. Norway clears into the open spaces. Short gives it a ride the other way. Moran couldn't bring it down cleanly. Hansen can. Out of Hegerberg, straight ahead. Has Vold to the right. Hegerberg finds her. It's a little bit off the mark. Vold will collect and play it out. Nair. Now late whistle, but the foul was given.
It'll be interesting to see if this is in fact a foul. As that ball is floated in, it gives Nair plenty of time to get underneath it. And then Utland just comes in, looking for the ball, obviously, but knocks Nair as she rises up.
77th minute. Listen, Nair will put it back into place. She had another good season with the Chicago Red Stars. Headed ball. US looks to see where it went. Lavelle backtracking, wins it. O'Hara drives it. Press. Flag goes up now. Offside US.
And I think perhaps Press is staying a little bit higher in this half, being a threat in behind. That's opening things up. But I think Lavelle does better on that outside spot right now. I think she's more comfortable out there, has more time to face up and do her magic. Inside, she was getting lost a bit, and I think Horan is very comfortable in there with tons of players coming at her from different spots. And I think that's one of the reasons for the change. in the U.S.'s play this half, and that's just a look at Press sitting on that back line, pulling off the back shoulder, opening up that passing lane. Good awareness by Sauerbrunn to know that that's on and hit the direct ball, because the U.S. hasn't played that ball all that often today to soften up Norway.
This will lead to a free kick for Norway in a good spot. And Hegerberg draws it. '78th minute, still time for Norway to try to get one.
And that's a heavy challenge by Dunn, sliding in there. Studs up.
This is beyond 30 yards.
They've got to be aware of the weak side.
Hansen will take it. Floats one up. It's there at the back post area. 2 U.S. players went down. Mielda was one of the targets. She's a Chelsea teammate of Crystal Dunn.
And a former center mid for this Norway squad. Perfect ball placement as that served in, landing right at that 6-yard box. That's a sweet spot. Mielda just unable to get on the end of it. She's not one of the taller players on the field.
Nair puts it over the halfway line. Lavell's header, press. Lavelle trying to follow it up. Oof. It's a tough game. That's Isaacson who's bleeding. And the training staff's out immediately. So the referee was right there to see it. The elbow of Horan.
And that's a foul. You can't jump with your elbows up like that.
That one did a lot of damage. Isaacson is the player that's down. Plays for the club side. Stabæk. That's Martin Sjogren. His team only down by a goal. You could make the claim that they were the better team for sure in the first half. Second half, maybe more of a wash.
And that's going to be the confidence builder for them as they head into the Euros. And another look there of the high elbow of Horan. I've had that happen to me. Head split open. I had a dentist in the stand stitch me up.
A dentist?
Hey, you take any doctor you can find.
80th minute. USA up by a goal. And Isaacson off on the sideline. So right now Norway a player down. And you would think they're not going to try to stop the bleeding. One would assume that they will just make a substitution.
And you know, we talked about Martin looking at his midfield coming into this match, trying to find answers going to the Euros, and I think they did well in the first half. I really do. Controlled a lot of the tempo. They broke on the counter, the ones that launched it initially.
I'm told that while we were away on replay a while back, maybe 4 or 5 minutes ago, Hegerberg was given a yellow card, probably for dissent. Here is Dunn coming back. We saw Guro Reiten being spoken to by the coaching staff, so we assume she'll be coming in for the injured Isaacson. Dahlkemper. Press. Out wide this time. That would have been a nice move. Didn't work though. Wasn't completed.
Yeah, but that last ball by Dahlkemper is a look at her ability to play make out of that back line. Perfectly weighted pass into the path of Press. And it was a nuanced run by Utland. Initially, she pulled herself in towards the other center back, and then so she created more space for herself and then cut into that gap.
And that is Reiten, who's come into the game for Isaacson. What does it tell you about the lack of U.S. subs in this game? What does that say about what Gireles wants to do here?
I almost look at it against Sweden, and then again today, it just wants her to have those minutes to play in these tough situations. You know, Rapinoe, do you bring her into the fold?
Now we're going to see a change. Julie Ertz. If that name does not sound familiar, it's the former Julie Johnston. Her husband is a professional football player with the Philadelphia Eagles. So Julie Ertz will come into the game replacing Kelly O'Hara.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Kelly O'Hara was on the right backside. Ertz, you don't typically think of as being an outside back. She's capable of it. So is Dahl-Kemper. So is Sauerbrunn, for that matter.
Perhaps they go with 3. We'll see.
Looks like Julie is on the right side.
And Lavelle is pulling up. And that's not good in the end. Not good. First, when she didn't go after that ball, she must have felt it like right before that, because it seemed like the ball was in reach.
And she's just in full stride here, pulls up. Everyone knows that moment when if you've played soccer, you feel it in your hammy, that big sharp twinge. And we just talked about how many minutes and how much ground she covered against Sweden. You're traveling from the US, from Boston, overseas. It's a lot on these players, and they're not used to
the night off. It's nighttime in Norway. 6-hour time difference from the East Coast, so the substitution is going to be made. Lavelle is walking off, and Boston Breakers coaching staff and fans are hoping that this is minor.
She's someone who has had a bad luck with injuries in college, struggled with it. That was one of the things Jill Ellis talked to her about, was getting her nutrition right.
And that seems to have paid off. So Carly Lloyd, who scored 3 goals in her last 3 games against Norway, can maybe add to that total. Lloyd is also 3 goals shy of 100 in her career.
It's just a matter of time, you know, with Lloyd.
So Lavelle's day is done. The U.S. team trying to close it out with a 1-0 victory, or more if they could get one.
It's just so brutal for Lavelle. I mean, of course she's going to come back, but it's just, she's hitting her stride with the U.S. team, finding her form, leading that Boston team, and then a little hiccup in the road.
Yeah, pressure on her, right, from both club and country actually now. Responsibility in the national team, and definitely with the club side.
And you can see that she's embraced it and thrived under it, and that's what you need out of these players that step into the U.S. as young internationals.
Carly Lloyd will be headed to Houston after this is all over to play with the Houston Dash. She was playing with Manchester City.
And I think they'll welcome her return.
New coach there as well, right? Randy Waldron out in Houston.
They were struggling.
And Morgan Bryan's been hurt too for Houston, so rough start to their year in the NWSL. The hope would be that Lloyd can help revive their hopes. That is Lloyd going in hard after that. Just impressed still with the game's only goal. 87th minute. U.S. with a 1-0 lead. On the road in Norway. To this left side, Crystal Dunn over the top, looking for Lloyd, who headed it forward. It's going to be swept away. Lloyd from U.S. between Volda and the goalkeeper Helmsmith. That's covered. Big one tonight, Mexico and the United States. 7:30 Eastern on FS1. When this game is over, we'll get some more thoughts from our gang down in Mexico. Rob Stone anchoring our coverage. U.S. in the second tour of duty under Bruce Arena has looked much better in these past few games, including the friendlies of 2017. Big win over Honduras in San Jose, 6-0. Got them off to the good start under Bruce.
Huge win for them there. But how about Nagbe? We talk about Pulisic. Nagbe's been changing the game for the U.S.
Bold puts it up. Nair reacts to it. Keeps everybody calm back there.
And it looks like with Lloyd on for Lavelle. Press has now gone into that right midfield spot. I know these are fluid. These positions are fluid. They're capable of interchanging, and that's the beauty with this front six.
Bounce all the way back to Hjomseth. 88th minute, time running out on Norway's hopes for an equalizer. They're looking on the long ball. It's one of their trademarks from years past. Hansen. And it's going to go out of play. This is the team, though, Ali, that you think could make some noise in Euro 2017, Norway.
I do. I absolutely do. I mean, right now, 1-0 against the U.S. and first half, they could have found the back of the net a few different times. I think the second half, they've petered out a bit. Perhaps the fitness will be an element that will grow for them as they head into Euros. But when you have someone like Ada Hegerberg and Hansen who can set her up, you know, you've got a dynamic duo that is capable of a lot. And there's Hegerberg there. I mean, you just need her closer to goal. They haven't been able to get her in and around the box as much as you'd like in the second half, at least.
Bold. Hegerberg's calling for it. End line. She'll get there. And try to play it across. That didn't work. They'll be relying on her to have a big tournament when that starts this summer in the Netherlands.
And yeah, she should carry a lot of the load, but you're seeing out of this Norway team that they're capable of attacking through a different variety of ways, not just centrally. They were getting wide around the U.S. in the first half, and so it's not going to be about just stopping Hegerberg the way I think, you know, this U.S. team might have thought coming in.
Torstolder. Berger on the left side with that pass broken up by Press. Took it away from Toshnos. Out again. 90th minute, USA leading on a goal by Kristen Press on the team's first shot on target. And perhaps still their only shot on target. Didn't see the official stats lately, but at one point 10 shots, only 1 on target, 1 goal.
Really, that was their only quality chance, and that's oftentimes what, you know, shots on goal spell for you.
They also take their time putting this back into play. Is that right? 5 minutes of stoppage time.
This crowd wants more.
Yeah. Might be a little generous with the time. I know there were subs made and the Isaksen injury, but she wasn't on the field all that long, but that's the case. So 5 more minutes gives Norway certainly more hope.
And this is where, for game management purposes, as they head into the Euros, they're down a goal. They've got to start playing a little more direct. If you're in the Euros right now, you need to get a point out of this, at least.
Hegerberg sends it out wide. That's bold. Took it around short. Hansen comes in. And there's some good coverage there in the end from Dahlkemper. Norway will put it inside the box. That's headed away. Pirates. Torstolder. Norway settling. And Yelda. Double teamed. Lloyd takes it away. Dunn on that left side. It's knocked out of play. It's a throw-in for the U.S. In the second minute of stoppage time, minimum of 5 put on the board.
The U.S. not committing numbers forward, looking to see this one out.
Reminder, more coverage from Azteca when we are done here. The USA trying to close out a win over Norway. Hansen. Owen's blocked. The U.S. has to clear it out. Not a good clearance there. Second ball. Headed not out again. Bold leaves it. Quick strike. And it's a weak one. Woodland didn't get all of that. The U.S. was fortunate she didn't.
And I'm just not used to seeing the U.S. stand like that. I mean, no player's firing at that ball as it was a poor clearance. It's dropping in around your 18. You need to be flying at that ball to get something on it, deflection, cleared away, anything to get it out of there.
It seemed more like a friendly mentality. closeness when the foul was given against the U.S.
But I think it's a mentality that, the U.S. never has, even in friendlies, typically. Or historically, I should say.
Pushed out wide by Hegerberg. Vold draws two. Nice calm ball in. Hansen blocked. She'll get another go at it. And that's blocked as well. Try to return it to Vold. Short, putting pressure on the ball against Hansen. You don't want to give Hansen time on the ball. She'll have a throw-in. Carolina Hansen drives it across, swept out. Not far enough. Short will let it go out. The U.S. was fortunate there. Some of these clearances, they've been bailed out.
And I don't think Norway's done themselves a good service in this final third. They could have swung some of those balls back in the mixer, but they're letting the U.S. off the hook. And this is game management for the U.S. I mean, the game's winding down. Put it anywhere. Put it in the stands. Just get it out of there.
The halfway line from Nair off the head of Lloyd. Press trying to head it forward. Have about a minute left in this one. If Amy Fern holds true to 5 minutes of stoppage.
You see that little seam that Hegerberg popped into to get that ball out of the air. That's where the U.S. can be vulnerable.
Launched long. Headed for Hegerberg. Now it'll go wide. Vold, end line. The cross blocked. Norway still have some hope in life, but about a half a minute is left on that. Mielda kept it on the deck for Vold. The run by Hansen. Not enough on that tuck-in pass, and Delcamper got it to short. Lloyd eats up some more seconds with Dunn on the pass, and then shanked out. US could have killed the game right there. It still might be enough. Seconds left. Unless more time has been added. It's blocked away towards the circle. That's going to do it. Same result as Thursday night. A 1-0 win this time. Kristen Press gets the game's only goal.
And not a lot on the line for the U.S., but I think overall a pretty lackluster performance, uninspiring in the attacking third, a little bit suspect defensively. I mean, yes, the U.S. is an international break right now and not necessarily at the top of their game, but I think this side is capable of much more, and there's got to be a lot more connection and tempo to be found within this unit.
Kristen Press with a goal in the 60th minute. Becky Sauerbrunn with a helper. Ali and I are done with the USA versus Norway, but there's still plenty more to come your way here on Fox. Stay with us. We're going to the Azteca. Rob Stone and friends anchoring our coverage. The big preview, USA-Mexico, is next.